Okay, this is stop number 1 for my road trip here. I'm in Farmington, Farmington, Connecticut, in front of the Linda McMahon headquarters here, and this gentleman has just come out. He tells me he's not a worker, but a volunteer guy who wants her to win. What's your first name again, sir?
First name's Ron.
Now, Ron, you've got all of the stuff, the bumper stickers, the things to give out to the people. Why Linda McMahon for you?
Linda McMahon is somebody who I believe is pro-business, wants to reduce regulations on business. Chris Murphy, on the other hand, is somebody that is, or has been for the last 6 years, involved in putting more regulations on business, making it tougher to expand businesses in this country. I think really he's just so in tune with Nancy Pelosi and the Democrat Party and everything that they stand for, which is everything that's helped put us in, or really not helped put us in, it has put us in the situation that we're currently in, where businesses are just scared. They don't know what the future holds. They think they might want to expand their business. They might see some potential for future to grow their business, but who knows what's going on with the whole Democrat Party, from Obama down. You know, I gotta say, I've interviewed a bunch of people in Massachusetts, which is where I live, and I hear the very same sentiment over and over and over again. Now, has this fella Murphy, I think you said his name was, has he been running away from the president, or has he been running towards him? He's in lockstep with him. I think he votes however Nancy Pelosi tells him to vote. That's really what I believe. He is he's anti-Second Amendment. He is, like I said previously, he's anti-business. He certainly is not for reducing the size of government, the growth of government, the taxation that the Democrats are for, and he's a liar. In plain English, he's a liar.
Now, I've seen the latest poll that came out for Connecticut. Linda McMahon is behind, but she's up 9 points among independents. Now, I know Massachusetts is a plus 25 Democrat state, so it's a little bit tough. Is Linda McMahon reaching out to Democrats to say, hey, I mean, this is your business future too? This is your jobs?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, she was just heavily criticized for a television campaign commercial where in the commercial they actually went out and talked to like 6 different people, 6 different Democrats that say they are voting for Obama for president, but even though they're voting for Obama for president, they're still voting for Linda McMahon.
And that's the same thing we've seen in Massachusetts in the Scott Brown campaign. Brown is pulling a fair amount of Democrats, and that's good. In our state, you can't win without doing so. Well, you're off to deliver these. If you had one message you wanted to give the rest of the country about this campaign, what would it be? One thing you want to say to people who are saying, should we like kick in a few bucks to help Linda across the finish line and so forth?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're a Connecticut resident, I'm going to put one of these stickers right on my shirt, or I already have one.
There's one right there.
And, you know, when I meet people out and about, just like I've met you here, you know, I'm going to throw a couple of bumper stickers on the car, which I've had a couple magnetic ones, and they're gone. But my main message to Connecticut voters would be, Chris Murphy made a comment that he didn't really have to explain his jobs program because he has a record to stand on. Well, let's forget about jobs for a minute. Let's just talk about, yeah, he does have a record to stand on for everything, okay? Everything that's going downhill in this country, he has a record to stand on. And his record is that he's been part of the problem, okay? If you talk to people about Linda McMahon, you know, there's some uncertainty about her and about where she stands on certain issues, and you know, she's a multi-millionaire, so obviously if she's a multi-millionaire,
she's done something right.
She's bad. No, she's bad in the eyes of the brainwashed, the Chris Murphy devotees.
Yeah, I've always wondered this because there seems to be an awful lot of rich Democrats who are spending an awful lot of money on Barack Obama, yet none of them seem to be considered bad. I've never quite figured that one out.
Only rich Republicans are bad,
yeah.
according to the Democrats. There's nothing wrong with being wealthy. Matter of fact, I think if you take Mitt Romney, for instance, I would rather see Mitt Romney have money than the government, because I think he'd actually do more with it and do better with it personally through whatever contributions he decided to make.
Or just a job. I mean, you get a guy running a business, he's going to hire somebody. Because he's not going to want to do the $10 an hour work. He wants to do the $100 an hour work and hire someone to do the $10 stuff.
It's the old saying, I never got a job from a poor man, you know. But the Democrats, and this is something that Chris Murphy has been pushing throughout the campaign, that you can't trust Linda McMahon because she's a multi-millionaire. You can't trust Linda McMahon because she made $35 million last year or whatever it is. You can't trust Linda McMahon because she spent X amount of millions of dollars of her own money on the campaign. Well, in my opinion, Chris Murphy spent the taxpayers' money on his campaign.
Well, that's the thing. Linda McMahon spending her money and Chris Murphy spending the taxpayers.
Chris Murphy does have a track record, like I was saying. And his track record is that he's helping destroy the country, and he's been doing it for the last 6 years. Linda, sure, there's some question marks, but would I vote for somebody that I know absolutely is bad, who has proven it to me beyond a shadow of a doubt, or somebody that we're not sure of? If that's the case, I'm going to go with somebody I'm not sure of.
That's the presidential election in a nutshell.
That's exactly presidential election, as well as the local Connecticut Senate race too.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. I know you were heading out, and I just pulled in. Thanks for your time, and good luck today.
Yeah, thank you.